Well, this just in, at the NFL, Falcons head coach Raheem Morris addressing the media, talking about the decision to bench Kirk Cousins in favor of rookie Michael Penix Jr. The decision coming after their Week 15 game. Coming out of the game, Kirk Cousins leading the league in interceptions with 16 so far. It has been very tough for him. Also, keep in mind the Bucs still trying to battle it out with the Falcons for the top of the NFC South. And you can see how things have gone downhill for Kirk Cousins, starting off the first 9 games of the season, going 6-3, the last 5 just 1-4, and that touchdown to interception ratio 17-7, and then going 1-9. Here's more from Raheem Morris.
Go with Michael Penix at quarterback. How did you and your staff arrive at that yesterday evening?
The same way we do with all our decisions. You know, obviously you go in, you evaluate, you talk, you look at the tape, you go through all the process, you go through your next preparation and your daily things that you got to do. Obviously, you know, we got to play better at the position. We want to play better position, and that's what we made the decision to do that last night.
And what was Kirk's reaction and his long-term status with the franchise?
You know, obviously, anytime you take a step down in demotion or whatever the case may be, it's not going to be met with great, you know, appreciation and all those things. But Kirk was a professional. He's a pro. He's a man. He's a great human. He's a great father. He's a great football player. He's done a lot of great things for us this year. He handled it with class. He's an absolute professional. I can't say enough good things about who the man is and how he is and what it is. But, you know, obviously, there comes with some disappointment when you lose your job.
And what are you all hopeful for Michael and, you know, making his first start in the NFL? And then what does that do to your right tackle is now the left tackle position?
A little bit older format, not necessarily got to use that as much anymore. A lot more gun, you know, a lot more pistol, a lot more things of that nature. It was more prevalent back in the day when you had up under quarterback, when you're doing some of the drop back things from that nature. But all our things remain the same. That just has Michael playing the left-handed quarterback. And what was the other question there, like you said?
What are you all expecting from him? You know, scheme run the whole scheme.
Obviously, just the best version of himself. He's been doing a great job in his preparation and what he's been doing, how he's been getting to the spot. We're really fired up to go watch him play, get him through the practice week, and obviously, you know, focus on trying to get a win versus the Giants.
When did you have that conversation with Kirk?
Last night sometime. You know, coming about last night, talked with him, had our conversation, got a chance to sit down. He came in, got through the process, and that was about it.
Did you have the feeling that he sensed that talk might be coming?
I can't speak for Kurt, whether you can feel the sense that is coming or not, but, you know, I normally don't call him on a day after the game at night, so I'm sure there's some human intuition that thinks like that, that some things could happen. And then, obviously, we've both been doing this for such a long time. We've seen it from both sides of the coin, so we kind of know.
Are there any injury concerns with him at all, Kirk?
No, it was just a football decision.
When it comes to kind of Michael's prep, and you're on a short week, and you're coming off of a win, yes, but getting him up to speed with what needs to happen. What have y'all been doing prior to this moment? I think a lot of people can be like, oh, well, now he's moving into having more of these conversations, but what has been happening previously in order to feel like you can make this decision right now with him?
Yeah, Michael's been the number 2, you know, one snap away all year, and he's been in the preparation in the lab, ready to go. He's been grinding away, learning from Kurt, being around his coaches, being ready to go, knowing that every play could be the last snap for anybody. So, you know, he's been doing all the normal preparation that you have to do in order to start a game. So he's ready to go. As far as that's a mental standpoint, now you just got to go out there and do it physically within the practice format and how we want to do it.
When you speak of this being a football decision, there's obviously, when people talk about this decision, business comes into play real high in the reporting.
Sure.
How did that come into the talks that you had? Is this something you had to speak with the owner about to make sure that was good for everybody?
You know, we discuss it with everybody, you know, and obviously our owner's always going to be involved in what we do and more of a supportive role more than anything, and he is extremely supportive and has been since I've been here, even as an assistant. He's been supportive with everything we've done, from the draft, from free agency, from decision-making, from things that we need, things that we want, the building, everything that we do. So he's always going to be involved in all those type of things. And then obviously it definitely has some financial implications for us and how you go about your process, and definitely one of those deals. But we're always going to make football decisions in order to win the football game, and that's always going to be first and foremost.
Who does have the final decision, Raheem, when it comes to deciding who gets to play and who doesn't?
Allison, when you start talking like that, you might as well just walk out of the building and hand over your head coach's hat and your general manager's hat, because these things got to be made together. There's a collaborative idea, there's a collaborative effort at all times, and that really doesn't matter in this building.
Coach,
Hey, Jared.
Thanks. Why did you make the decision now? You just won a game.
Yes.
Why not last week, the week before?
We had been searching. We've been digging as much as we can dig in order to make things work and try to get things going. And then, just last night came to the point that she wanted to make the decision and make the move. We wanted to play better at quarterback, and we felt like we got a chance to play a little bit better. And if we can go out there and play better at quarterback, who knows what can happen. We played a really well sought out football game. When you talk about all phases of our game last week, and we didn't play well at the quarterback position, and want to go find out if we can do a better job there.
Is there any chance that you will go back on this in terms of permanent versus temporary, depending on how things flow with Michael?
Yeah, I don't think anything's ever permanent in the National Football League, but right now Michael Penix is our quarterback, and we're going to back him and give him the utmost support he needs, as we did Kirk when he was our starter.
And is there a message to the other players in the locker room with this?
I don't know if it's a message. I think it's just what we deal with. I think it's the National Football League. I think everybody knows you got to be ready when you're called upon. I think everybody knows that you always, the NFL is a short-lived league, and you got to appreciate the moments. And I think everybody already knew that. I think for our guys, I think they're just going to go out there and play with like they've been playing, the hair on fire and ready to go.
What will Kirk's role be this week?
Kirk to be our number 2. And talked with him last night, and obviously wasn't always the best time to talk about it, but he definitely expressed to me how he's going to be the best number 2 quarterback in the National Football League.
Do you have a plan or an expectation yet of what the future holds beyond this year? Do you expect Kirk to be on this team next year?
We're just trying to get a win versus the Giants. That's a big part for us right now, and that's a big part for everybody right now. I think we're all focused on that. I think both of these guys want to win. I think our whole team wants to win. I think our organization wants to win, and I think that is our focus right now. Obviously, you got to have those long-term decisions and those long-term answers that's got to be made, but that's not right now.
I would imagine you try hard not to be surprised about anything that comes along, but are you surprised to be in this situation after the excitement you had 9 months ago and the way that Kirk was playing?
We were playing extremely well. So I'd be telling you a story if I didn't tell you I wasn't surprised right now how the last couple of weeks have gone, and how we haven't been able to turn around and play a little bit better at the position in order to keep things going how we had and to keep with the general plan. But hey, the National Football League, things hit you. You got to adapt, you got to adjust, you got to persist, you got to deal, and keep it moving, and that's just what we're doing.
With the follow-up on what Jared was asking, would it be accurate to say that, like, as Kirk was struggling, you were hoping, expecting that he would bounce back?
Yeah, every single week, I know you guys can hear it. I had a lot of confidence that we would play better. I had a lot of confidence that we would do better at the position. I had a lot of confidence that he would get back to his form, and we just didn't, for whatever reasons, and we'll have to figure those things out. We'll have a deep dive into those situations, obviously, when it's all said and done. But right now, really focus on winning versus the Giants.
To follow, you hit this about this deep dive. At this point, I think everyone's kind of baffled. And would it? I don't know if that's the word you would use, but it seems like you don't have a finger on what's happened in the last few weeks with this play.
No.
Coach, what did you all see to let you all believe that he's ready to make his start in the National Football League?
Mike's been doing everything we've asked him to do since he's been here. For us, it was just a plan with Mike that he didn't have to play right now because we had our quarterback rolling in the right direction, our team rolling in the right direction. We were doing a lot of really good things. We had a lot of really good stats, a lot of really things that you guys all love. And then right now, it's time to make a change, and that's what we're doing.
What were the biggest things that stood out to you just recently from Kirk Cousins' recent play that you felt like we needed to make this change?
The turnovers. You can't turn the ball over in the National Football League and expect to win, and we got to stop those things. And that was a big part of it. Some other things in there too, Allison, but obviously the turnovers were the big one, the big factors.
Is there any such thing, or if you experience it? I know in baseball there's the yips. Is there something like that in football, or have you seen anything?
I can't say I've seen it, but I'm sure it exists. It exists in all of the things that we have, and it exists in all sports, and it exists in everything that we got going on. And it's one of those things you got to be ready to deal with.
Have you changed Michael's routine at all in the last month, thinking that you might end up here in terms of the amount of snaps he gets at meeting time, anything like that?
I think his meeting time has been the same throughout the course of the matter. It's been the same amount as Kurt. They meet the same time. They meet the same way. They meet all the time together. They do a couple things that are separate, so some of those things will change for him within the next couple of weeks or within the time frame of this week. But other than that, man, I think the young man has been preparing to go the entire year. Like I said, when you're the number 2 quarterback and you go out there in the field every single week on Sunday, you better be prepared to go because you just never know when you're going to be called upon. And he's prepared that way all year.
Aside from the way that he's prepared up until this point, what else have you noticed about Michael as he's sitting there and learning from Kirk?
Just the confidence grow, the maturity, the confidence, his ability to be able to step up and ask questions that are relevant to the game plan or relevant to us getting better or being helpful for Kurt or whoever else is in that room, whether it be a wideout, whatever the case may be. The confidence to be able to articulate the game plan on the sideline with his guys that are not in the game so they can absolutely follow along and be able to deal the same way. So he's got a little maturity that is beyond his years, and we knew that about him coming out, so it was really good to see.
You asked about Kirk's reaction whenever you had that conversation. What was Michael's?
Obviously, in Michael's case, he's going to be excited because he gets a chance to play. Obviously, he has done a great job of supporting Kurt along the way, and he's done nothing out of character in order to get this position. So he deserves it. He's got an opportunity to go out, and we'll go see.
What does excited look like for Mike? Did he smile?
Excited for Mike is the cool Mike that you guys know, and that's just the serious case. He'll give you a smile, but he doesn't ride an emotional roller coaster, right? He's a pretty even-keeled kid. Is what we love about him, and I look forward to watching him play and practice.
How much does that personality and what you've seen of that affect your confidence to kind of throw him into the deep end here in Week 16?
There's the same amount of confidence you had when you drafted him. The same thing that attracted you there during the draft period and the process and being around a kid is the same thing that attracts you right now and being excited to go watch him play and to throw him into the deep end. This kid is he's played a significant amount of football in college football, and he's got a lot of reps, and he's got a lot of poise, and he's came here and shown nothing but growth and development, and now we go see what it looks like.
Obviously, Kirk has taken all the first-team reps in practice all season. To what extent has Mike thrown to some of these other starting receivers?
Not much, and that's a big part of it, too. That's a big part of the talking discussion. That's definitely something worthwhile thinking, and then you get all the reps going into a week this week. You get all the reps on the side. You get some of the things that you get on routes on air and things of that nature, but, the concepts, the things, they all look alike, but it's definitely going to be a little bit different thrown to different guys.
Raheem, how much of the decision was, giving our rookie enough time?
You've been listening to Falcons head coach Raheem Morris talking about his decision, which he calls a football decision, to go ahead and bench Kirk Cousins in favor of Michael Penix Jr. Going into Week 16, so very late in the season, saying he does have a lot of confidence in Michael Penix Jr., though. Falcons, big contract with Kirk Cousins. If he is cut before the 2025 season, they owe him quite a bit of money. They could potentially trade him as well. As for Michael Penix Jr., taking a look at the past 2 seasons there, again, a lot of time in college football. He is 24 years old already. He has seen action in just 2 games for the Falcons so far this season, going 2 of 4 for 24 yards in one of 1 for just 14 yards in another.